Manish Chand, CEO, Center for Global India Insights. Excellency, South Africa High Commissioner India, Anil Suklaji. His Excellency Kenneth Nobrega, Brazil's Ambassador to India. His Excellency Mr. Philip Green, Australian High Commissioner to India. And I'm very fortunate to have some of my senior colleagues, ambassadors here, and excellencies from all different countries, and learned scholars and friends. First of all, thank you very much for the very sort of generous introduction. I also feel that I'm the youngest among the lot, and maybe I'll also benefit from the wisdom of all of you. So, talking about today's event, especially, is very important. Especially, it is coming in a time that South Africa has taken this big responsibility of hosting G20, and also we wish the South African friends very successful summit. So let me just focus on, since the theme of today's event, South African presidency and what the values brings it to the table. South Africa assuming the G20 presidency under the theme Solidarity, Equality and Sustainability. So we have witnessed an important milestone with an African nation leading this forum for the first time, as the first cycle of presidencies concludes in 2025. This is as a proud moment for Africa and especially for South Africa. This will also be the last of the 4 consecutive developing country presidencies, as His Excellency has also pointed out, starting from Indonesia, India, Brazil and South Africa. Which makes it even more significant. We are hopeful that together we will be able to deliver ambitious outcomes for the Global South in the upcoming G20 Leaders Summit later this month. India has been supportive of South Africa's agenda centered on 4 key priorities. First, strengthening disaster resilience and response builds upon the disaster risk reduction working group that India established during our presidency, an important initiative championed by India, and how important it is to help people affected by the disasters. And second, ensuring debt sustainability for low-income countries addresses a critical impediment to achieving sustainable development goals. So, as some of you are aware, with over 50 economies now spending more than 10% of public revenues on interest payments alone. So, the G20 must deliver tangible outcomes. As voice of the Global South, India fully supports South Africa's focus on this resolution. Third, mobilizing finance for just energy transitions remains essential despite intensive discussions happening between developed and developing countries. India successfully advocated for scaling climate finance from billions to trillions during our presidency, if some of you remember. And we must maintain this momentum despite disappointing outcomes at COP29. However, it's also important that this is work in progress. So therefore, there is always a possibility of achieving outcomes. Fourth, harnessing critical minerals for inclusive growth presents an opportunity for African development while navigating complex global supply chain dynamics. This requires also a balanced approaches that serve both producer as well as consumer applications. We're happy that focus on development has continued for the last few years, especially in the G20 forum. During India's G20 presidency in 2023, the G20 introduced several transformative initiatives that continue to shape the global development agenda. I just want to refresh some of the initiatives that we took. G20 presidency championed the concept of lifestyles for sustainable development, emphasizing sustainable living practices that can be adopted globally, because this is very different concept which focuses on how we can achieve sustainability through the sort of changing our lifestyle. And it also mainstreamed the idea of digital public infrastructure as a digital public goods. Therefore, as a tool for inclusive development, demonstrating how technology can bridge gaps in service delivery. I come from a state called Karnataka, the southern part of India. I still remember when the first time we used the information technology for in delivery services, like Kumi project they did, wherein a land record was digitized and they made available to the farmers. So they used to transform the way government provides services. So therefore, the focus on women-led development was another focus of the presidency. Ensure gender consideration remains central to G20 discussions. So we also pushed for accelerating progress on the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs) and reforming multilateral banks to better serve developing nations. So India's contribution to G20 in terms of major outcomes with presidency like the inclusion of African Union as the member of G20 is further amplified the voice of Global South by giving them a platform. Our initiatives like Lifestyle for Environment, our Honorable Prime Minister championed this way to address the sustainability issue. And we also set up Coalition for Disaster Resilient Infrastructure (CDRI), International Solar Alliance, and also Global Biofuel Alliance, which provides another way to achieve energy security by adding sustainability. So these initiatives reflect India's commitment to finding practical, scalable solutions that benefit the global south, and we hope they will continue to receive attention in the next cycle of presidencies as they have in the South African presidency. The defining feature, I must say, of India's presidency was the concept of Janabhagidari, that means people's participation. So if you remember, we demonstrated that G20 by making it truly inclusive, reaching beyond the government and diplomatic crowd and engage citizens across the country. There were more than 200 events were held in 60 cities. We ensured that India's G20 presidency was not limited just to Delhi, but also belonged to every Indian. We organized events, cultural programs, awareness campaigns that brought G20 discussions to universities, schools, civic groups, small towns, and then everybody sort of felt that we are part of the G20 family. So the approach, in a way, transformed the G20 from an elite forum to people's movement, demonstrating that global governance is just most effective when it reflects the aspirations of voices of ordinary citizens. This model of inclusive multilateralism offers valuable lessons for future presidencies. As the G20 baton passes on to the USA, the G20 is conducting a timely review. We must congratulate South Africa for taking this review of G20 at 20 to decide what would be the future of G20 and its role. It's amply clear that G20 has been one of the most effective fora for responding to global crisis for many years. As His Excellency also mentioned about 5 events in 2 years summit. So it has delivered ambitious outcomes beyond that, as well as various issues will continue to play. But more important thing is that it is felt that there needs to be continuity and focus on globally important issues across presidencies. And therefore, an outcome-oriented approach while retaining the nimble and flexible structure of the group. So that we hope it will continue. As you all aware, the geopolitical landscape has grown increasingly complex, and India is proud to have reached fractious positions to find a balanced language in the New Delhi Leaders Declaration. So we also take a pride and proud of our role as a consensus builder in various multilateral fora. The achievement demonstrates that G20's relevance in finding common ground amidst global tensions is quite possible, and we now face challenges of challenging sort of political landscape among the key G20 members. So therefore, this is all the more important that we have this persistent sort of pursuit of finding consensus in different variety of opinions. So in conclusion, I would like to say that most of global growth is expected driven by the global south. G20 should remain sensitive to the issues and priorities of the developing countries. India reaffirms its commitment to multilateral cooperation and supporting South Africa in advancing its interests and developing nations as well. At this juncture of G20 history, we, along with our friends from G20 think here, will continue to amplify the cause of Global South in the next cycle of presidencies as well. And so I must also say that India will be hosting the BRICS Summit next year. And so we hope to continue the championing of the causes of the Global South in coming years as well. With that, I thank you very much, Manish. Thank you for the invitation and thank you for the patience. Thank you.